Just going through some questions in exercise 2E, solving equations with brackets and pronumerals on both sides. So it's 3 times 3n is 9n. 3 times minus 2 or negative 2 is negative 6 equals 0. Look, there is another way that you can do it by dividing by 3, but we're just going to leave that at the moment. All right, so 9n equals 6. So therefore n is 6 divided by 9, which is 2/3 if you simplify. Okay? The thing you'd want to do is expand your brackets, and then you can collect like terms, etc. Look, you can take that negative 1 over to the other side if you want, but I would expand my bracket first. So if you've got equations with brackets, expand brackets. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times 3 plus 9. The rest of it, you just write it out. Take away 1, take away 4x equals 4. Then, pronumerals on the same side, 6x minus 4x is 2x. 9 minus 1 is plus 8. That equals 4. So gathering same pronumerals, collecting like terms on the left-hand side. So therefore 2x is 4, take away 8. So 2x is negative 4. So first thing, expand your brackets. Any like terms on the same side should be collected. Don't go and take them all to the other side. Collect first. 6x, take away 4x is 2x, plus 9 minus 1 is plus 8. Then the plus 8, inverse operation of plus 8 is minus 8. And then we're dividing by 2 because it's 2 times x, or x times 2, opposite of times 2 is divide by 2, and so x is negative 2. We've got 2 times x is plus 2. Now, don't put the minus sign. Just do minus 3 times x is minus 3x, and minus 3 times minus 2. That's the quickest way. If you go minus, brackets, 3x minus 6, you're going to end up with a problem. So you do that first bit, cover it, and then minus 3 times x is minus 3x, minus 3 times minus 2 is plus 6. That is the easiest and quickest way to do it. Equals 8. Now we collect like terms on the left. 2x minus 3x is negative x, plus 2 plus 6 is plus 8. Oh, okay. Now, girls, you know these 8s? You'll notice later, 8 and 8, when I take that to the other side, they end up cancelled, like you end up with 8 minus 8. But look, what do you want to do now, girls? And you can do that. If you want, and you take that over there, you get negative x is 8 minus 8. I know this is negative x is 0. All right, so you just swap sides. I wouldn't have done it this way. X is 0. There's no negative zeros, girls. They don't exist. It's just 0. The other thing I would have done is do this, actually. You know how we don't like negatives? Negative pronumerals? Why don't you just take the negative x to the other side and make it positive x? Keep this 8 here and bring the other 8 over. Girls, do you see what I've just done? I took this negative x over there to make it positive x, and I kept this 8 here but brought the other one over. And we've got x is 0. Or you can go this way. You okay with that? Girls, whenever I see a negative pronumeral in my equations when I'm getting to this stage, I swap sides. I take that over, make my pronumeral, whatever I've got with my pronumeral, to be positive. So girls, 5m and minus 6m, we want all the m's on one side and numbers on their own on the other side. So I'm going to keep the 5m here, this minus 6m, I'm going to bring it over. And what does it become? If I pick this up, see, girls, I need you to listen. If you're not sure sometimes whether you're adding or subtracting, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. I've got 5m, minus 4, 1, minus 6m. So I've got 4 terms. 5m is a term, the minus 4 is a term, 1 is a term, minus 6m is a term. Terms are separated by subtract, plus and minuses. So when you're picking up a term like that whole thing that's only attached with a plus or minus to something else and you pick it up and take it over, that's when you're adding and subtracting. So I've got minus 6m, take away 6m, when the opposite of take away 6m is plus 6m. Okay, so I've basically picked that up and taken it over. I want to keep my 1 here, that's a positive 1. I want to pick this up and take it over. Plus or minus? Plus 4. So I've got 11m equals 5. So basically if you've got, you want all your pronumerals on one side and you want your numbers on the other. So you pick them up and take them over. Or the opposite, the inverse operation is of minus 6m is plus 6m. So you're really plussing 6m to both sides, but the minus 6m plus 6m cancel. And here you're really doing the opposite of subtracting 4 on both sides, which is add 4. And the minus 4 plus 4 cancel, but we don't do it like that anymore once you're getting to this level. All right? So now, are you going to divide by what? What is, it's 11 times m, or m times 11. We're undoing the times 11. So what's the opposite inverse? Divide by 11. 6L expanding brackets first. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Equals. Expanding the right hand side. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times 1 is 3. All positive. Now, girls, just a little hint here for question 6L. If you're debating whether you should put your pronumeral on the left or right, just see which one's bigger, positive 6x or negative 4x. To decide which side you'll take your pronumerals to, 6x is larger than negative 4x, so go to the side with the larger pronumeral. The larger coefficient of the 6x is bigger than negative 4x, so I'm going to put pronumerals on the right. See, if negative 4x is smaller than positive 6x, if you put all the pronumerals on the left, you're going to get negative in front of the x. So we're going to put pronumerals on the right. So 6x is going to stay here. So as I was saying, 6x is going to stay here. Inverse of minus take away 4x is plus 4x. You don't have to do it this way, but going to keep the numbers on the left, negative 8. Inverse operation of plus 3 is take away 3. So I've got 10x equals negative 11. And now we're dividing through by 10 because that's 10 times x, or x times 10. Inverse operation of timesing by 10 is dividing by 10. That's one way to do it. And then once we're finished, just put the x on the left. If something equals something, I can turn it around. Okay, the other thing you could have done from this stage is keep the x's on the left. I'm going to keep the minus 4x here and bring the inverse operation of plus 6x is take away 6x. Keep the 3 on the right. Inverse of take away 8 is plus 8. So this is the other way if you have to have pronumerals on the left. Minus 10x equals 11. Inverse operation of multiplying by negative 10 is to divide by negative 10. Now girls, 11 divided by negative 10, the answer will be a negative. Doesn't matter. I've shown you this many times. Doesn't matter if that negative, the answer will be just a positive divided by a negative is a negative. So you could do it either way. This is with pronumerals on the left. And this is with pronumerals on the right hand side, pronumerals. It's up to you which way you want to do it. Pronumerals on the right to make them positive. Pronumerals on the left. You can do it either way. Okay, so the product of 3 and 4 less than the number. So the product of 3, so 3 needs to be multiplied by 4 less than the number. All right, you're 16 or 15. What's 4 less than your age? How would you do it? Your age minus 4. So what do I do with this? 4 less than the number. The number is x. X what? Minus 4. So let's have a look at what we've written. The product of 3, and this is 4 less than the number. X take away 4. Try and think of your age. 4 years younger than me. 4 less than my age. It would be your age minus 4. Equals negative 4. Solve. Recorded 7D. So when 5 more than 2 lots of a number. 2 lots of a number is 2x. 5 more than that is plus 5. All of that is tripled, so it needs to go in brackets and be multiplied by 3. And the result means equals 10. And now you can solve it. Since Tara started work, her original hourly wage has been tripled. What should I do? The wage is x. What do I do with that? 3 times x. But then decreased by $6. Take away 6. So, since Tara started work, her original hourly rate has been tripled, then decreased by 6, full stop. It is now to be doubled so that she gets $18 an hour. So if that's now going to be doubled, put it in brackets and double it, that's now all going to be equal to $18 an hour. What was her original wage to find out? X. So you can solve it. I'm not solving them, I'm just helping you write them. At the start of lunch, Jimmy and Jake each bought out a new bag of X marbles to play with their friends. By the end of lunch, they were surprised to see they still had the same number as each other, even though overall Jimmy had gained 5 marbles. So Jimmy, he started with X. He's gained 5 marbles, and Jake ended up with the double. Jake ended up with the double of 3 less than his original amount. What's that? 3 less than the original amount. 3 less than the original amount. 2 bracket x minus 3. 2 bracket 3 less than... What? Then double of 3 less than his original amount. So it's got to be double bracket x minus 3, the double of that. Now they apparently are equal because it says by the end of lunch they were surprised to see they still had the same number as each other, even though overall Jimmy had gained 5 marbles and Jake had ended up with the double of 3 less than his original. And you need to solve that. And question 10. This really means 3 times the whole of the bracket x minus 2. If this was just 3x equals 9, wouldn't you divide by 3? Over here, if it was just that. Well, you can do the same here because it's 3 times all of that equals 9. You actually can do x minus 2 equals 9 divided by 3. Because it's 3 times this whole bracket. It's a single thing, this whole bracket. Do you see what I've just done? You can do it this way. So x minus 2 equals 3. See, it's 3 times all of that equals 9. Opposite of times 3 is divide by 3. So x take away 2 equals 3. Therefore, x equals 3 plus 2, which is 5. That's one way of doing the question. That is part A. Part B says solve the equation by expanding the brackets, which is what we've been doing so far. Solving this equation 2 ways. 3 times all of that equals 9. We're dividing by 3 because it's 3 times something equals 9. The second way, which most of you will probably feel comfortable with, is to expand the brackets. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times minus 2 is minus 6 equals 9. 3x equals 9 what? Plus 6, which is 15. And so x is 15 divided by 3, which is 5. They both work. It says which do you prefer and why. Which? Anyone? What do you prefer? It's a personal taste. Yes. Yeah, I know you would. See, girls, and I think once you're more comfortable and you're really confident with equations, you may start later to prefer method 1 because it doesn't matter. If you're not comfortable with method 1, don't worry with A. But if I do the second one, there is no way you would use method 1 for this question. Shh, girls. Excuse me, ladies. Look at 11A. There is no way you would ever do method 1 for this, which is to divide through by 3. See, this is when you would never divide by 3 to start with. Oh, no, they do. Wait, what did I put? It's 7. So with question 11, similar equation, but a 7 there, you would never divide by 3. But let's do it because it gives you a fraction. That's right. So x is 7 over 3 plus 2, which is 2 1/3 plus 2, which is 4 1/3. Yes, you can do it if you want, but part B says to expand. In part B, you expand. The only time 7 plus 6 is 13. Oh, I'll just move this up. So in question 11, we're trying the two different methods. The first one we're dividing by 3, but we're just going to leave it as 7 over 3, which happens to be 2 1/3. In the second method, we're expanding, which is the same answer, 4 1/3. Now, you do not have to do method A. I would not do method A for question 11. I might do it for question 10. Do you understand why I would do method A for question 10 and not 11? Because when you divide by 3, you get a whole number in 10A, but you don't get a whole number in 11A. If anyone's asking about question 12, all that is doing is saying in part A is putting pronumerals on the right, and in part B they're deciding to put pronumerals on the left. Okay? We spoke about this. 5x is larger than 3x. So if you put pronumerals all on the right and numbers on the left, the coefficient of the x will end up being positive. But if you decide to take the 5x over to the left, you'll get negative 2x. 2D question 9H. This is just some homework problems from 2D. My weekly pay is increased by $200 per week. Jeez. Half of my pay now goes to the rent. So it was X. It's now $200 more. Half my pay goes to the rent. So that's what I've got. Take away X divided by, whoa, X plus 200 divided by 2. Half, so that's your pay. Half my pay now goes to the rent. So X plus 200 divided by 2. And 100 to buy groceries. It leaves me with $450. Does that make sense? Wait. This problem here I will continue on the homework video.